Go ahead and put my backwards baseball cap on. And now I look like Luke. That's right. I made a Gilmore Girls reference. Deal with it. Hey guys, my name is Josh. Welcome to the show, and today I'm counting down my top 10 favorite films of 2016. I'm going to throw out there before I jump into this that this is my list of my top 10 favorites, not what I think are the best films of the year, and also that there are a ton of films that came out this year. It was a really good year for cinema, so there are a ton of films I wanted so badly to fit on this list and just couldn't. So a few honorable mentions before we jump into this. First of all, obviously, Captain America Civil War. It was so close to being on my list, but ultimately got edged out. I also want to throw out there that The Lobster is one of my favorite films of this year. So, that being said, let's just jump into it. Rogue One, a Star Wars story directed by Gareth Edwards, who I'm not a big fan of. I thought Monsters was a really good film, albeit with some pacing issues. I thought Godzilla was a decent film, but with a lot of pacing issues. And on the unfortunate end of things, I thought Rogue One was a really good film with a lot of pacing issues. So I did love Rogue One, that's why it's in my top 10. The last act of this film is the reason why it's on this list, because my gosh, does this film get freaking amazing in the last act. I mean, oh my gosh. Holy crap, is it good in the last act. And the last 5 minutes of this film are maybe the 5 best film moments in all of Star Wars. Incredible. The best Vader scene ever, hands down, no doubt about it. But the beginning of it's got some pacing issues, so that's why it only gets to number 10. Let's just move right on. I am a huge Harry Potter fan. I love Harry Potter. If you know me, you know I love Harry Potter. I have all the books on hardcover. I have all of the movies. I have 3 of the video games. I have 2 different Pottermore accounts. And yes, I got the same Patronus and the same Hogwarts house both times because, gah, I have a Hufflepuff Quidditch shirt that I should be wearing and I'm not. I have a Hogwarts sweatpants set. I have a ton of Harry Potter pop vinyls. I love Harry Potter. This is not Harry Potter. It's amazing, it's set in the same world, it's not exactly the same thing. This is a boot up for the franchise, and as that, it's very successful, and I had a great time with it. But ultimately, it did fall flat in a couple spots, which is why it's not quite as far on my list as I wanted it to be. 10 Cloverfield Lane is such a fantastic film. I'm a huge horror movie fan. I was so excited to go see this because I have Cloverfield on Blu-ray. I watched Cloverfield all the time in middle school and early part of high school. I was so excited for this film, and this film did exactly what I wanted it to do. It surprised me by being so much better than I thought it was going to be. By having some of the best suspense I've seen in a horror or suspense thriller film in such a long time, by building suspense, by building tension, by making you have to question everything you see to try to determine if what you're seeing is really what's happening, or if it's shaded by this character going crazy or that character going crazy, or maybe is it this or is it that, and you never really know exactly what's going to happen. You can guess certain pieces, but you can't guess the whole story. It was so intriguing, interesting to watch. Hush is directed by Mike Flanagan, who's one of my favorite horror movie directors. He had 2 films this year, Ouija Origin of Evil, which I did not see because I don't like that kind of horror film, though I heard it's good, and Hush, which is one of my favorite films of the year. Mike Flanagan also made a very good horror film called Oculus a couple years ago, but this film is a very small, low-budget, independent film that had the rights bought for it at an independent film festival by Netflix. And oh my gosh, it is so good. It is, again, you're going to see a few horror movies on here and they are all suspense horror because we had such good suspense horror this year. Hush was so well directed, it was so creative in its premise, it was so intelligent, and it was so suspenseful. It kept you on the edge of your seat the entire film and guessing everything. Just, it was so good. Okay, this is the only superhero movie on my list. I know, but this is the only one this year that surprised me enough and made me happy enough to really fit it onto this list. It's hilarious, it's original, it's different, it's new, and it's fresh. And look, you can make your criticisms about how it's too R-rated, and I would even maybe agree with you that it's a bit too R-rated, but I can overlook certain things that kind of bother me in the film, little inconsistencies, or kind of being by the numbers in the way that they presented the story, because they were able to do something new with the cliches and the tropes they were working with, and because this is the only superhero film this year that felt like a comic book movie. I know some people are going to hate me for this. Some people are going to put Kubo and the Two Strings on the list and not Moana. Some people might fit on Zootopia and not Moana. For me, Moana takes the cake. And I'll tell you why. Because I'm biased. Because I'm a huge, huge fan of Alan Tudyk. Because I'm a huge, huge fan of Dwayne Johnson. Because I am obsessed with Lin-Manuel Miranda's music right now. And because I grew up a few hours from the Oregon coast. So we used to go over to the Oregon coast and stay there and go play in the ocean all the time. And those are my fondest memories in my entire life. So of course I'm going to love a film that features all three of those amazing people and the ocean. I told you I had more suspense horror on my list, and here it is. Don't Breathe was so good. I can't even begin to tell you how much I loved Don't Breathe. Now, I had seen Fede Alvarez's previous film, which is the Evil Dead remake, and I like it. I own it on Blu-ray. But to be honest, when I watched the film, I said, this guy has talent, he has potential, and then I critiqued about 15 or 20 things that I kind of felt like he could have handled better in that film. When I saw Don't Breathe, I was blown away because he did something that I thought was so impressive. Every single critique I had about the way he handled the Evil Dead remake was fixed with Don't Breathe. All of it. It's suspenseful, it's intelligent, you find yourself literally holding your breath in parts of this film. You just get totally sucked into this. It reminded me very much of this film called Wait Until Dark with Audrey Hepburn. It reminded me a lot of that film, actually. But my gosh, is it good. Hacksaw Ridge was not a film I was excited to see. It was not a film I wanted to go see. I had a buddy go, you gotta go see it, it's so good. And I went, whatever. So I went and saw it, and I had no expectations for this film, and I absolutely loved it. I thought that it was inspiring, I thought that it was sweet, I thought that it was beautiful, I thought it was genuine. So good. And this is a film that took three actors that I personally don't really like, Andrew Garfield, Vince Vaughn, and Sam Worthington, and put them in film and in performances where I absolutely loved them. When I left that theater, I went, I kind of like Andrew Garfield now. I'm interested to see what Sam Worthington does next, and I'm really interested to see what Vince Vaughn does next. I mean, do I even have to say anything about this? Casey Affleck is one of those guys that always gets the short shrift, right? He was the guy that just kind of showed up in all the Ben Affleck films and was second fiddle to Ben Affleck. But the reality is, my gosh, is he a great actor. And if he does not get at least nominated for Best Actor at the Oscars, if he doesn't, I think he should win it for his performance in Manchester by the Sea, but he should at least get a nomination. Manchester by the Sea is beautiful and fantastic, and the story that it tells is heart-wrenching and yet inspiring, but it feels real and emotionally raw, and it feels like you're just eavesdropping on this incredible conversation, and I absolutely loved it. La La Land is one of those films that I was waiting all year to see. In fact, it was my most anticipated film of the year. I was so excited for this. I was excited for this for a few reasons. I love Ryan Gosling. I am obsessed with Emma Stone. And because the director Damien Chazelle made one of my favorite films of 2014, Whiplash. And because I am a huge musical fan. I was so excited for this film, and my gosh, I cannot hype this film up enough. It is beautiful, it is happy, it is unabashedly romantic, and in a year that's been good for film but bad in other areas, and a year that's been a difficult year for a lot of people, seeing a film that's just sweet and beautiful and optimistic and romantic and that knows how to handle itself. I mean, the direction in this film, the acting in this film, the music in this film, the lighting. The lighting in this film and the shot composition are astounding. Seeing a film like that in a year like this, it's amazing, and it's hands down my favorite film of the year. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share, and in a day or two, I should have up my list of the worst films of 2016. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.